Good morning. Welcome back to the Retirement Report. I'm Hank Parrott, your host, and I'm going to talk about retirement today. And this is about some recent retiree findings that I found fascinating. This was from Nationwide and a bunch of that they put together, but it's from a number of sources. New York Times, Kiplinger, Wall Street Journal, a number of, and actually from the Census Bureau and other government agencies as well, Social Security Administration. Some of the things that we're learning more about retirement and retirees and the kinds of things the kind of risks that you face and how to overcome them. One of the things, as I mentioned before the break, people are living longer. This is one of those areas I mentioned about risk. Longevity risk now is the bigger one. In fact, it's a risk multiplier. The longer you live, the more these other risks are going to come into play, and the more important it is to have a plan about what to do about these risks. Outliving savings is a top concern for those approaching retirement and also for those in retirement. Many of my clients are either, within 5 years, let's say 5 to 10 years of retirement, and it's about saving for retirement. I have some that are, further out, of course, but also those that are already retired, all right, or just starting to retire, just, within the last year or in the next year are going to be retiring. So this kind of thing, when we're getting into planning, we're looking at doing projections to see what their retirement income is going to look like based on what you're currently doing. This is when I talk about the retirement financial retirement income analysis as an example. That's one of the things we do. And the report that I put together for my clients, basically what that does is it shows them how much money they're going to have in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, based on their current assets. All right, what you have today, we look at everything, right? Income, what you have coming in, what you're going to have in income in retirement, of course, as well as prior to retirement. And then we're going to look at your expenses. How much does it cost to maintain your current standard of living? We want to at least do that, right? And then we want to look at your assets. What type of savings do you have right now, and maybe other assets? And are you going to have an inheritance maybe that's going to help out? All of that we want to take into consideration. And in addition, any liabilities, any debt you might have, or whatever that might look like. All right, so proper planning is the key. Proper planning can alleviate these fears. If you know what to expect, if you know what that financial future looks like, you're going to have peace of mind, right? So what kind of lifestyle do you want to live? This is one of those questions that we all have to ask. As I mentioned, this is a very general from Kiplinger, a very general number, if you will. Approximately 78% of your pre-retirement income is needed to maintain your current lifestyle in retirement. And again, I have found, and how they come up with these kind of numbers, by the way, is they look at things like, well, you're not going to have to, if you're not working anyway, you're probably not going to have to worry about certain tax expenses, like your payroll taxes as an example. So that could save you 7.65%. Another would be other expenses related to work that you might have, as far as maybe you're going to drive more for work. Maybe your gas and automobile expenses and those kind of things are going to be higher. But the reality is that for many people that I talk to, that can also be totally different, all right? They might need a lot less than what they currently make. They may be high income people that have very low or very modest lifestyle. They don't spend that much. For the things that they enjoy doing, maybe don't take as much money. And then I have others that are going to spend a lot more in retirement because guess what? They're going to be able to do more things, right? You're going to be able to go out and have some fun. In fact, they want to look at, now that I've saved and I've worked and I want to, go travel more while I've still got my health, get out there and see the world, whatever it might be. All those things that you've, the bucket list that you want to get to, this is the time, and that's where when you first enter in retirement, for that first 5 or 10 years in particular, you may find you're actually spending more than what you were making prior to retirement. So again, it's very individualized, and this is one of the reasons when we do planning, when having a plan is a plan specific for you, right? This is the thing that to think about. When you retire, it's different for everyone. I have people of different income strata that come in, all right, from people that are, making hundreds of thousands of dollars to those that are making, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, whatever it might be. This is where the planning is so important because it's very individual. Different amounts that are saved. But it's not even, you might have a lot more saved than say your neighbor as an example, but maybe they spend a lot less and they're going to actually have it easier. The other is what they're going to have for income. Maybe have a pension and you don't. So there's a lot of different factors that come into play when it comes. That's why these generalized answers don't work. All right, you need a specific answer for your specific situation. All right, one of the things, for instance, again, consider your expenses. Average mortgage debt is about $70,000. Yes, ideally, having no mortgage debt in retirement is ideal. All right, but not everyone gets there. And sometimes there's even some strategies that can be employed depending on, and again, that individual situation that you might have, tax consideration, a number of things, where maybe that mortgage, having that mortgage in retirement is not always the worst thing. All right, especially if you've got a mortgage and you're paying, you refied or you bought it, in recent years where you've got a sub 4% maybe mortgage rate, maybe that's not such a bad thing. Average of $7,700 per year is spent on travel. Think about that. Wow. Okay, so that's about $600 a month that you would want to have set aside, over $600 a month, $650 a month, set aside just for that. And that's, again, this is the average. This is what are you going to do when you're retired. There's a great book out about it. All right, what does retirement mean to you? 57% of Americans plan to work past age 65. 54% plan to work at least part-time, and currently, in fact, 30% of retirees 65 to 69 are employed. Now this is the other thing. That's not necessarily a bad thing. A lot of times people want to work. They enjoy it. I know I hope I can work for, well into my 80s or beyond if I'm so fortunate, because I really enjoy what I do. I love my work, and it's something that fulfills me in so many different ways, so I look forward going to the office and working. I don't ever want to not be able to do that. So but again, it's very individualized. Some people work because they really need the money, and others because, well, it's nice to have the money, and others don't really need the money, but it's for all the other reasons that work provides them. All right, so this is one of the things, again, why I keep going back to that individual plan. So again, I'm going to offer it up again. For the first 10 callers to my office, 615-376-5325, Tess is standing by to get your information. Here's what you're going to get. Is free retirement income analysis. All right. Again, for this kind of plan, it's a comprehensive financial plan. All right, this is not just a consultation where we sit around and I will provide coffee if you like, but it's not just about sitting around having a cup of coffee, talking for an hour, and trying to sell you on a bunch of stuff. This is about providing you a comprehensive financial plan. All right, we're going to talk about Social Security and Medicare. We're going to get into those kind of questions that you might have. We get into, as you see in my book, all the steps in there. We're going to talk about the basic financial plan. We're going to talk about IRA mastery, understanding your retirement plans, how to maximize returns, minimize volatility, minimize taxes. So this is one of the areas I see people get into so much trouble because they just, they pick up a piece here and a piece there, and they've got all this thrown together, mutual funds, they've got REITs, they've got a bunch of things thrown together, their 401ks, none of it matches up. They've got a tremendous amount of risk. They've got junk bonds, they've got just interest rate risk through the roof that they're not even aware of. They're just thinking, well, as they put this together, or maybe picked up pieces along the years, or maybe just because the advisor they're using is not as knowledgeable about how these things work and doesn't look inside the funds that they have and show them the risks that's there. This is all a part of it. Again, a really strong investment analysis. So free retirement income analysis, first 10 callers, 615-376-5325. You'll get all those things. Tess is standing by. She'll get your information. She'll send you out a checklist, okay? Something to fill out here to give us some basic information, as well as a checklist that'll be the packet, and then a checklist of things to bring to your appointment with me. And then I've set aside time in my calendar over the next few weeks just to meet. First 10 callers, give us a call, and we'll do a free retirement income analysis. When you come in, we'll also give you a free copy of my book, 7 Steps to Financial Freedom in Retirement. All right, back to it. What does retirement mean to you? Well, one of the things to look at, and this is, again, when we're talking about putting that plan together, what are your main sources of income going to be? All right, you're going to have a pension. So far, this is one of those areas. These are, for most retirees, it's a combination of a couple, 2 or more of these types of things. So for instance, a pension, Social Security, a deferred comp plan, IRAs. This could be a 401k, 457, 403b, You could have a thrift savings plan, TSP, for federal employees. So whatever it is, state employees, I think typically is a 457. You also have 401ks, 403bs for nonprofit. All of these are just different types of retirement plans, and they all pretty much look alike. You're going to have different types of mutual fund options within them. These mutual funds, this is the key again about asset allocation, how to choose the right ones. Part-time work, this is another area. Full-time or part-time, what's it going to look like for you? These are main resources now. Pensions and Social Security, though, may not be enough. And this is for those even that have a pension. Pension plans are available only to about 20% of employees. That means 80% of us, guess what? No pension. So we've got Social Security. Social Security, in fact, according to the Social Security Administration, accounts for about 40% of what you'll need in retirement. Where's the other 60% going to come from, right? Deferred compensation plans are becoming the largest income source. And this brings up the other part. Do you have a tax plan? Do you have a plan to cover taxes in retirement? And this means on your retirement plans, you've been able to defer those taxes, with the exception of those that may be investing in Roths. That's going to be a different type of planning. But if you've got money in those retirement plans, and that money starts coming out in retirement to support your income needs, to help you maintain that standard of living and quality of life, understand that it's going to be taxed then, and it's going to be taxed at your highest income tax rate. And do you have a tax plan, in fact, to help minimize those taxes? And understanding too that the money that you're pulling out of your retirement accounts may cause your Social Security benefits to be taxed. Do you have a plan on how to minimize taxes on Social Security benefits as well? That's what comprehensive planning is about. We're going to give another offer when we come back, but first we're going to take a break. When we come back, by the way, almost 20% of Americans over age 65 are working. All right, so again, that's another area not to be discounted. And understanding, is it something that works for you? Would you want to work in retirement, after you retire? And if not, one of the things to look at then is making sure that when you retire, you're definitely going to have enough money to never run out. And if that means working a couple of years now, extra now, to not have to worry about it ever, maybe that's part of your plan. We don't know until we find it, right? We do the work. We got to do the planning. We got to do the analysis. So first we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to get into this some more, and I'm going to again give you an offer you can't refuse. Come on in and see me, right? So first a quick break, and then we'll be right back on the Retirement Report.